Welcome to The Explainer, where we break down the big stories behind the headlines. Today, we're talking about a potential cure for one of the world's deadliest diseases. We're going to dig into a groundbreaking study on pancreatic cancer that's giving millions a reason for hope, but we're also going to separate the reality from the hype. All right, so imagine this headline just drops. A cure for cancer. I mean, that's pretty much what happened back in early 2026, and it sent these huge waves of excitement all across the globe. You can just picture it, right? For patients, for their families, for researchers, this sounded like the moment they've been waiting for decades. The headlines were everywhere, just shouting about it. Spanish scientist finds cure for pancreatic cancer in major medical breakthrough. It was the Spanish research team, right? And after 6 long years of work, they'd apparently developed a treatment that completely wiped out the most aggressive form of the disease. Unbelievable. But, and you knew there was a but coming, right? There was this one tiny, crucial piece of context, kind of buried in the fine print. This incredible, amazing result, it wasn't in humans, it was in mice. Now that's still a vital first step, don't get me wrong, but it's just the beginning of a very, very long road. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's separate the real breakthrough from all the hype. And to really understand why this development is such a big deal, we first have to wrap our heads around the grim reality of pancreatic cancer. 13%. Just let that sink in for a second. That's the 5-year survival rate for pancreatic cancer. And what's really devastating is that this number has barely budged for years, even while we've seen these incredible treatments for other cancers come along.
And what does that 13% actually mean? Well, it translates to nearly 52,000 deaths expected in the US alone in 2025. This disease is just brutal. It's usually found way too late, it spreads like wildfire, and it fights back against almost every treatment we throw at it. It's truly one of the toughest challenges in all of oncology.
And look, the lead scientist himself, Dr. Mariano Barbacid, has been super clear about this. He's really urging caution. He's emphasizing that while these results are absolutely unprecedented, this is a preclinical finding. It's not a finished cure that's going to be ready for patients tomorrow.
So what is it that makes this cancer so incredibly difficult to fight? And why is this mouse study so important then? Well, the answer really boils down to a single, notoriously tricky genetic target.
Okay, so here's the villain of our story. In over 90% of pancreatic cancer cases, it's a faulty gene called KRAS. For decades, KRAS has been the white whale of cancer research, the one that got away. So what exactly is an oncogene? Well, think of it like this. A normal gene is like a car's gas pedal. You press it, you go, you let up, you slow down. A mutated KRAS gene is like that gas pedal is just stuck to the floor. It's constantly telling the cells to grow and divide, completely out of control.
And this battle against KRAS, man, it has been a 40-year war. No joke. Dr. Barbacid himself was the one who first identified this oncogene way back in 1982. But for decades after that, scientists just could not find a way to switch it off. That's how it got its nickname, undruggable. Now, we did get the first inhibitors approved in 2021, which was a huge deal, but they targeted mutations that are really rare in pancreatic cancer. So this new study, this could be a real turning point in that long, long fight.
So how did they do it? How did these researchers finally corner this undruggable enemy? Well, they figured out that using just one drug is kind of like trying to plug one hole in a leaky dam. The cancer is just too clever. It always finds an escape route and builds up resistance.
The team's logic was actually simple but really powerful. A single line of attack just isn't going to cut it. So instead of trying to hit the cancer at just one spot, they decided to attack it from 3 directions all at once.
And their solution was this awesome 3-pronged attack. So step 1, cut the engine. They used an experimental drug called daraxonrasib to block that main KRAS growth signal. Step 2, seal the exits. They brought in an approved drug, afatinib, to shut down the common escape routes the tumor uses to survive. And finally, step 3, disable the backup power. A third compound was used to break down a protein that helps cancer cells survive stress. It's this brilliant strategy designed to leave the cancer with absolutely nowhere to run. And the results, they were just stunning. I mean, in multiple different mouse models, the tumors didn't just get smaller, they completely vanished. Poof, gone. And even more important, they didn't come back, and the cancer never figured out how to develop resistance. Plus, the mice tolerated the whole thing incredibly well, which is a massive factor when you're thinking about any potential human therapy. So what does this all mean for the future? Why does this research matter to all of us right now? Well, it's really about turning a possibility into an actual reality.
Okay, let's be real. The path from a discovery in a lab to a treatment you can get at your local hospital, it's long and it's complicated. The therapy has to be validated again and again, it has to be proven safe for humans, and then it has to go through years of clinical trials. We are talking years here, not months.
But, and this is a huge but, the takeaway here is profound. This is not just another small incremental step forward. It is a powerful proof of concept. For the very first time, this study shows that the complete eradication of these brutally tough tumors without any resistance is scientifically possible. It gives us a credible blueprint for a whole new generation of therapies.
So, is this the beginning of the end for one of cancer's deadliest diseases? Look, while a cure isn't here today, this breakthrough offers something that has been in desperately short supply for pancreatic cancer patients and their families, a genuine, scientifically grounded reason for hope. It's completely transformed the question from if we can ever beat this disease to how.